What's going on, guys? My name's Theoatrix, and today I'm going through 10 useful tools that will improve your experience on Old School. I don't have any affiliation with any of the tools that I'm showing, they're not paying me, but I want to share these because they're really helpful and a lot of time has gone into them. These tools are websites and apps that you probably haven't used or heard of before, with some that definitely deserve more recognition. Starting off at number 1 is a JAD simulator. In the past, I've shown a JAD simulator by Runescape, but that one uses the RS3 graphics for JAD, but it is still helpful for getting your prayer switches. But this one is an old school version and has a lot more features, including a simulation of the healers coming out, which is what most players fail on. To start the simulation, you enter your ranged, prayer, defense, and hit points level. You can also select how many healers you want to tank and how many potions you have left for the fight. Once the simulation starts, JAD will start attacking you, and you need to flick to the correct prayers. You can also have sounds on, which helps you get used to which sound corresponds to which attack. By pressing the 1 key on your keyboard, it switches to your invent, and your prayer points are also simulated, so you'll need to drink restores to renew your prayer points. Once you get JAD down to half health, healers pop up, and you have to click on them, then click back on JAD to keep attacking him, while keeping an eye on your prayer switches. So overall, this is the best JAD simulator out there. It's the only one that incorporates the healers, and it's the closest thing to the real fight. A quick note, never download any JAD simulators that are out there. Only use the ones that are on websites and don't require a download. There's quite a few JAD simulators out there that will put a virus onto your computer. The next tool is a website called Scape Fashion, and the developer Nick Pearson has put so much time into this one. The website is used to find what items have similar colors to one another, so that way you can find the best looking gear to wear. For example, if I want to find items that are similar to my red Slayer helmet, I can search by item and type in red Slayer helmet, and when I click search, it shows me all of the items that have similar colors to the helm. You can also search by color. So if you're going for a green look, you can put in green, then all of the items close to green will show up. So yeah, the website is scape.fashion. A small side note, I really appreciate the support that I've received lately regarding videos where I take sponsorships. Including sponsors really helps me to put more time into making content and keeps the channel going. And with that being said, today's video is sponsored, and it's sponsored by Monster Legends. Monster Legends is a free-to-play strategy game available on both iOS and Android, where you collect, breed, and train your army of monsters to battle against players around the world. On your homeland, you can build habitats, farms, and breeding sites for your monsters, and as you level up, you can access new areas like the Forge and Monster Lab to better your army. There's over 600 different monsters that you can collect, and by breeding 2 monsters together, you receive more powerful and evolved monsters. There's 3 classes: attackers, tanks, and supporters, and working out the best combination of the 3 is the best way to victory. There's a wide range of PvP modes, including the Special Dungeons Battleground and the Long Campaign Adventure mode. Every week there's new events with different crusades for you to discover. Use my download link in the description to get your welcome package worth $18, containing 50,000 food, 300,000 gold, and the Thundernix monster, which will give you a massive head start. Thanks to Monster Legends for sponsoring this video. The next tool is an app for iOS called RS Timers by Gar Apps. This app has a range of recurring training methods like birdhouse runs and farm runs, and when you select one, it starts a timer for when you can do it next. So once you just finish a birdhouse run, you can start the timer for birdhouses, and you'll receive a notification on your phone when you can do another run. This is great for people that only play on RS Mobile, since they don't have access to the RuneLite timers. Sadly, this app isn't available on Android, but hopefully it's something we see one day. The next tool is the OSRS Genie.com website. This site is a damage per second calculator that lets you compare two sets of gear against a certain monster. The website includes every weapon and piece of armor, and also includes every monster. This is so useful to use to work out what the best gear is for certain bosses or slayer tasks. You can see here that I've entered two very low cost basic setups to go against General Grador, the Bandos boss, and you can see here that the ranged setup has a higher damage per second compared to the melee setup, which is pretty interesting to know. Down the bottom, it tells you the max hit, accuracy, and damage per second of each setup, and also tells you how many minutes and seconds it's going to take to drain from your maximum prayer points down to 0. You can select which prayers you're using by pressing on the prayer tab. So overall, there's so much important information that you can get out of this website. It basically answers any questions regarding which setup is best to use based on what gear you have. The next useful tool is OSRS Box, and this website is incredible for developers and also has a number of useful tools for players. For players, my favorite is the Fight Cave Spawn Predictor, which shows you where each monster is going to spawn next on the fight caves. If you've ever gotten a fire cape on a pure, you'll know that it's extremely important to know where certain monsters will spawn so you can kill them as fast as possible. OSRS Box itself has a large collection of APIs that are very useful for developers. They have endpoints for every item, monster, and NPC. So for example, if you use the item endpoint, it gives you an incredible range of information for every single item, including whether it's tradable, the low and high alch value, when the item was released, and if it's a weapon or piece of armor, it shows all of its stats. So if you're a developer looking to make an old school RuneScape website, definitely check out OSRS Box. The next one is an Android app called OSRS Wiki, and it's not an official OSRS Wiki app by the wiki, but it doesn't have any ads and it doesn't cost any money. This app is incredibly useful for people that play on old school mobile. It creates a pop-up bubble that lets you browse the wiki while you play the game. So if you're doing a quest, for example, you can have the quest guide open as an overlay while you're playing, and that saves you going back and forth from old school and the web browser. It's great for anything you're doing, like learning a mini game, learning a boss, achievement diaries, pretty much everything. The next one is Temple OSRS, and this website tracks your progress over time, similar to Crystal Math Labs, but has an interface that is slightly easier to use and understand. If you haven't used the website before, you need to search for your username, then press the Update Player button. And from there, it starts tracking your XP gains as well as boss kills. Down the bottom, it shows a graph of your progress in whichever skill or boss you choose. You can select time periods ranging from 5 minutes to all-time progress. And it also includes a huge range of leaderboards from things like most ranks gained, highest XP per hour, most PVM hours, and many more. So overall, this is a great website to track and compare your progress. Number 8 is OSRS Best in Slot, which is a website that I've spoken about before, but certainly deserves a place on this list for the massive amount of value that it brings. On this website, you enter in your stats and then you can choose an attack or defensive style, and it tells you the best possible gear that you can wear for the highest bonuses. If you don't have the best setup, you can click on the item you don't have and it shows you the next best. It also has a toggle for free to play and a few untradables like the Fire Cape, Infernal, or Mythical Cape. The website also has best in slot tools for different bosses, and over time they've added a huge range of them. So if you're struggling to work out what's best for Skatizo, for example, you can go and see what the best setup is and view all of the best alternatives by clicking on the item. It also shows the recommended inventory setup. Second last on this list is ZulrahHelper.com, which is a great reference to use while you're fighting Zulrah, and it also is a great way to learn the rotations off by heart. So to use it, it's best to have it showing next to your game client, and then you select whichever rotation type you get, and every time the rotation changes, you just need to click anywhere on the diagram and it highlights the next one so you can remember which one you're up to. It has an automatic mode as well that uses the time of each phase to automatically show you the next one. It also has text to speech, so you can use this tool without any diagrams, and the text to speech will tell you where you need to be standing, as well as what prayers you need to use.
Pray range, run to top middle and attack with magic.
So if you're learning Zulrah or are looking for a better way to keep track of what to pray and where to stand, go to zulrahhelper.com. Number 10, the final tool that I'm showing is more for enjoyment and seeing how lucrative some bosses and activities are. There's an app called OSRS Drops Simulator, only available for Android. And there's also the oldschool.gg Discord bot, which does a similar thing to the app. Basically, these can simulate kills and rolls at bosses by using all of the drop rates to give you an exact roll as it would in game. It's something that's really fun to play around with and can give you a good idea of what to expect. The OSRS Drop Simulator app also shows the average loot per kill, which is another useful piece of information to have. So that's 10 useful tools to improve your old school RuneScape experience. The links to all of these are down in the description if you want to check them out. Be sure to check out Monster Legends, and by using my link down in the description, you can get your welcome package for a massive head start. Thanks for watching today's video, and stay safe.